biggest show in town is returned.
You know,
Hold on.
Got it right.
Hold on to your hats and glasses. So many layers, Dan. For the
So
intro.
many layers. We're an onion.
Welcome. You like that?
I like that.
To the Leafcast. We're a first-time reader live podcast, video cast based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and joining me as always is my brother Dan.
Oh, a little teacup. There is
Short-
my handle. There is my spout.
What do you do when you get all steamed up? You turn
Hear me
red and
shout?
you pommel me.
And I
You turn into this guy.
Hit me over. Pour me out.
We are back. We're trudging through Knife of Dreams. We're doing chapters 22 through 24, and this is episode 170.
We are kind of plowing through this, man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of the pace we're doing. It's damn near breakneck.
All right,
yeah.
well, let's get this out of the way. Everyone, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Do you like, Dan? Do you like first time reading?
Yeah, I sure do.
Do you like then listening to other first time readingers read and talk about the thing that you've first time read?
Ryan, that's what a book club is all about, is it not?
Yes, but we're a special book club. We are going to be spoiler free up to chapters 24 because these folks have not read past this chapter. Let's bring them in.
Trick or treat, I'm a teacup. I like this music too, man. Who did that?
Who did that? Mr. Hermit Convention.
Hello.
Oh, Josh was reading in the other room, I think. Oh, Carrie's done it. Ever after.
Up. Hey guys.
Kay's still finishing. She's gonna finish that book, that chapter soon, Ryan. I'm sure.
Is
Right?
that a drinking? Is that a drinking?
I do
drinking
have-
obligation? Sorry.
I do have to disagree. We're a crippled book club because you make us read the fucking talk about the thing before we finished it, and then make fun of us for when we're wrong. Which
Oh yeah.
I mean, fuck
Vociferously.
you. I mean,
yeah.
like fuck you.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, it's-
fine, make fun.
It's a true
Um,
win-lose
get on.
situation.
We have
Coupon,
fun at your
smear.
expense. No.
Make us look like idiots.
The more you
No.
lose, we win. As a collective we, as the first time, second time readers.
Mm-hmm.
This is typical dark friend shit, Ryan.
I know. He's coming in
Just
trying to put
telling
us
the
on
truth.
tilt. He's coming in like first coming in
20%
Tanya
on
Hardy.
topic, 80%, 80%
Okay, I like
off.
the Aussie. I like the Aussie term over here. We're hobbled.
Hobbled.
And-
What were you?
and we-
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Carrie?
20% on topic, about 80% off topic.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Is that the ratio?
Yep. Yep.
I don't know.
We've gotten better then because it used to be like 5% on topic.
Oh my gosh. You know, that reminds me of something, but I'm not going to tell you guys.
I know. I was about to say 15% is because we're trying to behave for you, Carrie.
That's right.
There's a certain gravitas that we've like. Okay, we button up because Carrie's
Mhm,
around.
mhm. Yeah.
Oh.
And
No,
by the way,
it's you online if you stray too far off topic.
Was
That
that,
was a good choice.
self-proclaimed gravitas?
self-proclaimed.
Yeah,
It doesn't
No,
work
I-
that way, dude.
I proclaimed it.
Yeah.
I well, I heard you, but that doesn't make it true.
No, I'll-
Just make it-
no,
All right, we have a poll out right now.
Oh,
We've
and
had 12
apparently-
votes so far.
Shame
is,
on you.
Is Carrie wearing pants? So if you want, if you want to get in on this, I imagine
thinking
I'll
about
never
Stagger.
close that poll. I want as many votes as possible.
Yes
Oh.
or no?
Mm,
Matt Stagger,
Wait,
you're
Dan. Was that a $10 donation?
up. Mhm.
Okay, well,
Alright.
let's get it. Let's give it to it.
Yeah. The poll is whether Carrie's wearing pants. I say there's a 50-50 chance. She wore the hat, so she looks real good from above. But who below? Man, who knows? She may get it.
Party up above, party down below. She's a freak in the streets, but a lady in the sheets.
Whatever it is, it's opposite of a mess.
All right, that was my best rap, Dan.
It was good. Thank
See
you,
how
Matt
see what
Stagger.
I did there? All right, no, thank you, Matt Stagger. Also, if you want to follow the lead that we pretty much expect from every one of you, be like Matt.
Be like Matt. I'll rap
And
about you.
We'll give you an impromptu rap that you could clip and go viral.
Yeah,
I mean,
put it on your
We did
CD.
just learn today that Carrie is a freak in the spreadsheet. So
Yes, nice, Josh.
Carrie, what do you have to say?
Boy.
in the spreadsheet.
Freak in the spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets. Oh,
Uh-huh.
you're talking Excel now. Well, that's my forte. I love Excel.
I figured as much.
Can I just give a shout out to some of my friends really quick? Right here.
Please.
Hi Callie, hi Uber, hi Jay.
Yeah.
I know some of them
Hi.
came.
Excellent. Yeah, and I imagine everyone else is your friend too.
Oh no, we're it's
Downhill.
yeah, no, that's good. We're
Like
bike
skiing.
riders, so that means we're going faster.
That's right. Like skiing. We're performing right now.
Yeah,
Performance.
it's yeah. Well, speaking of X, whatever. Weren't we speaking of X? Didn't we mention X? Anyways, the chapter icon kind of looks like an X from far away.
Boom. Shut.
It's the sea folk. It's the Athanmier
It's the sea
bird
the
icon
two are birds.
with the North Star or Lodestar, whatever it is.
No star.
You know,
This
we got to this chapter and the next chapter. It was like, oh my god, we got POVs from people I didn't remember who they were. I had to look up their names. Like, who are these people? And it's not the main cast, so it's like struggling through the chapters a little bit.
This chapter sucked until the last page. The
Yeah, I
only meaningful happens on the last page.
I didn't hate this chapter.
Oh, I fucking hated it so much.
Yeah, you texted
I
as
hate
much.
it, but I didn't love it.
I mean,
All right,
the only good thing that happens on the first 2 pages is this word, bumboats.
Bum.
Bungboats, yes.
Yeah,
That's the only thing
bumboats.
that's underlined on the entire fucking chapter.
Bumboats are cool.
I don't they have a bungboat tent in Burning Man? You just basically like anyway.
I think it's like yeah.
You're
no,
on,
I think it's like
you're on
some-
like live site. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. It's the sushi bar with the river that goes around. It's just like beds of people doing it on the bungboat,
the bung.
but they have to do it in
still,
a
it's-
bung.
All right, so I had a different idea. I was thinking that it was like a bicycle built for 4, and they had this like boat, and all you could see were just 4 naked dudes or ladies pedaling, and it had fire and stuff blowing off on the top, and it just said bum boat all over. HMS bum boat. What did you
Thanks
think,
for-
Josh?
Josh.
I mean-
how would Burning Man use bum boats?
I have seen a bike with dildos for seats that fit 4 people at Burning Man.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my.
Yes.
So that's
All right. Yeah. But okay, just because you saw it does
I
not
didn't personally
preclude.
ride it.
Okay.
but
Okay. That okay.
I'm
Just
sure
about to
there
say,
were
like,
people who operated this vehicle.
Iris Bear trying pulling us back in.
yes, right. Why?
Thank you, Iris. She's like, I got work tomorrow, guys. Let's talk about this.
I don't hate them, but I don't
I don't
love
hate
them
them.
yet.
I feel like it's like, here we are moving along the story. Oh wait, let's go off of this.
Yeah.
Our
side path that's completely meaningless. I mean, not
Bargain.
completely meaningless, but meaningless for 20 pages.
Yeah. Well,
But,
this
you know,
is
somehow I still got notes on it. So
yeah. We'll go through it. This is called "To Make an Anchor Weep," and it is told in the POV of Harin Den Tagara. She's cruising with her sister. They're off to a big meeting of the 12.
Mhm.
She has a bunch of boats with her. Awesome, cool, bunch of boats. Some people only had 8. She had 12. Fuck yeah. So here it says here, quote, abruptly a strong icy wind came up out of the north. No, it did not come up. It just suddenly was there full strength, whipping the harbor to choppy whitecaps and carrying a smell of pines and something earthy. Is this the OG wind? Are we back all the way to the OG wind that smelled like sulfur?
That's not the beginning, but it's a beginning.
It was a beginning. It was at the
Oh,
beginning.
where was this again?
It's just pretty much like the 7th paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th paragraph. Abruptly, a strong icy wind came up out of the north.
Okay.
It says she knew little of trees, but much of timber used in building ships. Keeping her hands on her knees required effort. She wanted to wipe the dampness out of her hair. Blah, blah, blah. But she said she had thought after Shadow Logoth that nothing would ever shake her again, but she had seen too many oddities of late, oddities that spoke of the world twisting. And abruptly as they had come, the wind was gone.
I mean, I feel like this is all related, right? Like the wind is the beginning of the book, the weevils and everything fermenting, going rotten, passageways in the castles and fortresses and the White Tower, like redirecting themselves, the dead alive. I mean, it's all just the Great Lord reemergence into the world, right?
I mean, all of those symbols represent Tarmangite and coming, but I don't know if the wind necessarily represents that.
I think it is the same thing.
Really?
That's why it carries the scent of like sulfur or stench. It's like the expression
Dark One's taint.
the Dark One's taint, like coming over the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, if I read, it says for the wind itself,
Oddities that spoke of the world twisting is what
it
she
says
thinks
that
of.
Like
about the
cosmologically, guys, like what do you think's happening? Like with all we know about like what this world's all about, like is there?
Well, what is the mist, right?
Yeah, the mist that was there and then it
Is where
wasn't.
gorillas hide?
In the storm, remember there was the storm over Elaine that like just vanished.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was something else like that recently too in these chapters where it was like,
Yeah.
besides just the dead walking, ghost of it.
So
well,
I
it
guess
doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead.
my question is, like, when they used the Bowl of the Winds, was that just for controlling weather, or did it, like, I don't really fully understand what the purpose of that was, or maybe we did talk about it and I forgot already. Like,
Just to break
was
the
it to
eternal
control
winter.
weather?
Yeah, it broke
To
the
break the
eternal
winter.
winter that, in theory, the Great Lord was imposing on the planet, right?
Okay. Did I have side effects when I did that? Like, are these side effects of that?
We
I
don't
don't know.
know, but it sure seems like a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wind isn't really defined in the way that it's used in these books, and this wind seemed especially nefarious. Was hurting people,
Right.
like they had to go and heal a whole bunch of people because there was some. It was walloping, and it smelled like sulfur and burnt butt.
I just realized we're matching. Me and Ryan and Dan and Josh are wearing similar clothes.
Hey, you stay. No, I was gonna say you stay on your side of the block. We'll stay on ours. There won't be no problems here. Okay. This here's our turf. That over there is your turf. If you get in our turf, we're gonna have some knives and some chain fights.
So, Could this wind be coming from? What's the name of the city on Dragon Mount that we haven't been to yet? I'm actually a little annoyed. Okay, sidebar. I'm a little annoyed that we haven't seen the Mordor of this world yet. Like, clearly there's a fucking Mordor somewhere where all the orcs and like Trollocs and Murdral are born and like live, and there's probably like evil male channelers and all sorts of shit. What book are we on? We're on like fucking book 11 of 14, and we haven't even seen it yet. Kind of fucking pisses me off.
We have seen people go have a meeting with the Dark Lord, and sometimes it's Shadowrun instead.
Right.
And like the tunnel has like spikes and get smaller.
Yeah, they come get smaller as you go, and they come and assault your head. Yeah, I know. I mean,
so that's probably the closest we've seen to what you're.
That's not Shadar Logoth, though. What's the name of that city?
Are you talking about the Blight?
Well, the Blight is around it.
Yeah.
But there's a name for the Great Lord's city. What's it called?
Shadow Logoth.
Oh, it is Shadow Logoth. What's the one?
Are you talking about where he was sealed?
Yeah.
Where he was sealed like an Age of Legends?
There we go. Thank you, Matt Snyder.
Shallow Ghoul. Okay.
Oh, Shadow Ghoul. Oh,
right. Yeah, Shadow Logoth is the one that has
the
Masama, right? Mashima, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shael Ghoul. Okay.
To clarify,
I'm a little annoyed we haven't seen Shael Ghoul. Like, who knows what kind of cool shit's going on there?
Didn't we see it briefly when the head
I know.
faceless dude
Shael Ghoul is Mordor. I'm sorry.
I think we saw it briefly in a prologue a couple books ago with that
we did
dude that became Nameless, right?
Not only then, but we saw it before where like they were like taking children into like the building and turning them into swords. Remember? We've seen it a few times, but like literally like maybe 1,000 words out of the 280,000 that we've read or whatever. Like,
that's awesome. Yeah, they were basically slaughtering families, and Josh is like, I want more of that.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah. Let's get into
what
that.
a damn dark friend.
my point
what
is,
are the politics? Where do they eat breakfast?
Josh wants to know where his tax money's going, Ryan.
could these winds have blown from Shael Ghoul, and that's why they smell like sulfur from the underworld, quote unquote. That is there.
Ooh.
Everything I was just saying was to get to that point.
I love it.
Could be like, it is. How do you picture Dragon Mount? Is it a peak? Is it a volcano? How do you guys picture it?
I picture Dragon Mount is like Mount St. Helena or Mount,
like a dormant volcano that's going to erupt at some point.
Right. Not Mount St. Helena because that already erupted, but like
Nepalese
mountains, like super high peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
so,
do we want to close the poll?
Say again?
You want to close the poll?
Close the poll.
One of our more popular polls ever. Most people are like,
the people will vote for the issues that matter.
All right, the people are spoken.
The people are spoken?
Yep, the people
that
are
was
spoken.
Amazing grammar.
They're outspoken. They're well spoken.
The people have spoken.
Jesus Christ! Don't you? This is part of my humor set. All right, so is Carrie wearing pants? 66% said no.
Oh my god!
Out of 18 votes. All right, so
kiss or tush, which is significantly easier without pants.
I mean, even if Carrie has on pants, we don't know if she's wearing underpants. So that poll could go either way.
Yeah,
even if Carrie stands up and proves it right now.
This is 50-50.
She could be wearing like a little House on the Prairie underpants, where they're just like big, long, white things down to her ankles.
I love that show so much.
Everybody in chat is a dark friend. Sorry.
I was definitely obsessed with Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, as a child.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one. My dad really liked.
There's naughty.
He liked Michael Landon. So Little House on
Yeah.
the Prairie. He liked. What was that? Heaven. That Touched by an Angel. Or something. I don't know.
Touched by an
Some,
Angel. Mhm.
Is that it?
Yeah.
He liked that shit. He was like, we'd always look at him and start sniffling, and we're like, look at what a baby. And he's all, shut up, shut up. We're all, you're crying. You're crying. You're a man.
Oh, suddenly the version of masculinity that you and your brother wear makes so much sense.
I'm all, Dad's crying. Hey, Cass. Hey, Ryan. Dad's crying.
Dad's crying.
Dad's crying. Dad's crying. Yeah, the worst.
We
All
were
right,
the worst. We would like
Okay,
all like
we were
wait
talking
giggling.
about-
Gunboats,
The
baby.
Talking about wind, mist, pants.
Pants.
Okay, let's get back to
Pants.
it.
Yep. So they are they get to this big boat where the meeting is. They go through all the bum boats. Bum boats just sell everything. They're like a swap meet on water. It seems like they're pretty important. It seems. There
Shit.
is a Taishar, Ryan.
Fuck, we haven't gone past bung boats, Dan.
Quote.
Okay.
Um,
All right, first
Stroke.
off, let's say hi to Guy Calgary, who looks
Hi,
fucking
Guy
awesome
Calgary.
right there.
Calgary.
That's rad. Listen, all right. So, hey guys, lift them if you got them. I'm reading right from the book. Quote: "Stroke for you." Taishar.
Oh wait, no, right here.
Okay.
Taishar.
All right. They get on the boat. In comes what's her name? Zeta. Zeta. Zeta's did the better deal. So it seems like Hareen did the deal with the dragon. Oh, everyone hates that deal. Oh, but Zeta did such a great deal with Andor that she even got like a mile of land. They don't even like land, and she got a mile of it. They're like, oh, Zeta's the best. They're like, Zeta rules Harima. What? Harilla? What is it? What's Hareen? Hareen rules. All right. But Hareen thinks that she's the daughter of the Sands. And she's like, which is probably a pretty dirty slur.
Zyda toyed with her.
Okay.
Yes. Just...
Quote. Blue eyes very wide. The Aes Sedai was breathing heavily.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and apparently her Hareen had been hung by her freaking ankles in that room because she did such a shitty bargain. They hung her, and they still have like the ring, like her ankle rope ring up on the ceiling still. She's
That's
like,
like
they could have
the-
taken that down.
That's like the most metal thing that's happened in this series so far.
It's her being hung upside down.
That's so metal.
This is the way.
It's called traction. It's a
It's good for your back.
chiropractic.
Interesting.
All right, I got another Taishar, guys. Quote: laid with some frequent regularity across her rump.
Okay,
Leg.
see that.
Laid
Yeah.
with some frequent regularity. You're getting laid across her rump. Woo. Let's see. Logain shows up. Like, hey, the dragon's man's here. He does a cool doesn't do it on the boat. His gateway is about a foot off. He just steps off like he's all cool. They're like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Logain." Everyone knows Logain. The name Logain is infamous, even with the sea folk, and they're like, "Fuck." They're like, "You're a false dragon. That's weird."
Hey Dan,
Huh.
what word rhymes with faint? And you always want me to touch your.
My paint.
All right, perineum.
Okay.
He's been waiting backstage.
He's
Saying,
been
"Come
waiting
on!"
Okay.
Isn't that hilarious? God, our chat's the best.
Logan kind of takes over the meeting. He says he'll take Hareen with him. He says, quote, from what I heard, I think he found her acceptable, referring to Rand. Here's another Tyshar, guys. There's two long ones. Or not two long ones. They're two
That's a
back-to-back.
Tyshar.
Hareen jerked so hard she spilled.
Okay.
And then
Zaida held up a single finger and the Aes Sedai's mouth snapped shut.
One more. Long swallow, but
What? I don't know. No.
Long.
No.
Terrain slipped into the cabin again. Yeah, no, I like long.
The
Good try.
cabin. Jesus Christ.
I like my other one, guys. That long swallow, but
But long swallow.
We do see again that Sidene is clean, which is nice.
Oh wait, yeah. Logan says it's been a long time since I ate anyone.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah, everyone
Logan-
in chat. This is an audience participation game. Like, if you find a drinking obligation in the text, please put it in chat. Tyshar. Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Okay, I lost where we are. Are we talking about Logain entering?
We're talking about Logan, correct?
Yeah, Logan just
Okay,
had-
so the part with him entering was interesting because they were just learning about traveling and they thought, well, there's no way in hell we can travel from our ship because we're going to ruin the ship. And then he just made a gateway
just
that
goes
was
up.
like a foot or two above, and I'm like, oh crap, I can do
How
that.
how is he able to do that since you have to know the destination in order to make a gateway? This seemed a little bit incongruous to me.
Hareen says that he must have been watching from the dock to time it. So he could see with the spyglass, perhaps the dock right there. He could just zoop.
Yeah, but how can he make it inside of a room that's closed? The whole point is like you can't make a gateway in a meadow you haven't seen before.
He did not. So it says the Coromor's emissaries arrived. He stepped
did
out of the
outside
gateway
the
on the
cabin.
quarterdeck.
Oh, okay. Quarterdeck. Okay.
So he was, I assume, and that's what Hareen says as well. She's like, oh, he must have been watching from the dock to know that we were all there before you.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
He says, hey, listen, you promised to serve the Coromor, so he needs all your ships. You got to take everything to Bandar Eben. They're starving. You bring food for 1 million people. How about that? And to your point earlier, Carrie, that Hareen dismissed traveling as like, she's like, yeah, you can't fit a boat in there. So why you can't do it? Her big thing was all about boats.
All right, drinking obligation.
Boats.
He came on deck.
He came on deck. Okay.
Nice, Saucy.
All right. Well done. Aye.
Like the no joy in mud feel when he came up in the mighty. Anyways, the mighty
And
case struck
in
out.
comes a woman. A woman who is has news. There's news to make an anchor weep.
Oh yeah.
This woman's name is
Amayar.
Samil Din Salon Long Eyes. She's a sail
Okay,
mistress.
so I just want to bring something up before you talk about what happened. Last week, I made a comment about the Branch Davidian. And now we literally see people poisoning themselves to death in the cold. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. They So apparently, about 3 weeks ago, Amayar and Tremalking began asking the gift of passage to every island. And no Amayar has ever requested the gift of passage before.
Jonestown's another good one. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, all the Amayar on the ports left, even those owed money from the shipyards and the rope walks, but no one thought anything of it for 2 or 3 days. The Amayar were all dead or dying, men, women, children. Poison, Wave Mistress. They gave their children a poison to put them in a deep sleep from which they did not waken. It seems that there was not enough of that to go around, so many of the adults took slower poisons. Some live long enough to be found and tell the tale.
So is this like mass suicide?
Mass suicide. Cult suicide.
This is crazy.
It says the great hand of Tremalking melted. The hill where it stood.
This is an important bit, right? When Rand and Nynaeve cleansed the taint, they literally melted the Choden Kal statues. Which is why that hole. Remember, we didn't understand why there was a hole.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hole where Shadar Logoth was. There's also apparently a hole where on Tremalking where the Choden Kal statue was, and presumably wherever the other, I forget where the other one was, but presumably there as well.
Mm-hmm. It was on the way to Kyrian.
Right. And so this brings me back to that question of like, what exactly is the fucking Loyals people? What is the Book of Trespass? Book of Transportation?
The Book of Translation
that the Ogier were talking about. Is it something like this? It does make me think more and more that the Ogier are also aliens like the Elfin and Eilfin.
So do you think it means their death if they open the Book of Translation?
Well, I think it means leaving this place in the same way that that's what these people thought, right? They had this prophecy that like when the Choden Kal statue disappears, they're all supposed to transit this world into the next.
They said it was the end of time, what they called the end of illusion.
End of illusion.
Yeah, that was interesting.
They believed it was time for them to leave this illusion we call the world.
Mm-hmm.
She says, has none been saved? She's like, none. And Loghain says, this is the saddest stories I've ever heard, but your ships are committed to Bandar Eben. He's like, mourn if you must, but mourn on the march to Time and Guide.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You can't go anywhere. You need your ships. What else did you guys write down, or did you want to talk about in this chapter?
Well, I just like the ending of that where they're like, don't you have a heart? Like, we need to help these people. And he's like, what the F? I need these ships. I need these supplies.
Right.
I mean, it was really funny.
They chose that. It is sad that they killed all their kids. I mean, and again, that is a pretty much direct Georgetown massacre.
Right.
In Guyana. Where this Kool-Aid was used, and the kids knew that people were drinking it and getting sick and passing out, and the kids were like, I don't want this, it tastes funny, and they're like, drink it. Really sad.
I mean, this isn't very important per se, but I like the part where they were talking about the ships and how basically there's a huge backlog of ship making that needs to take place, and the shipyards are requiring years to replace everything that was lost at Abu Dar. And I just think that's interesting. Does that mean people are going to start like stealing each other's ships because they're such a hot commodity right now? Like, I don't know. It's just a side tangent thought.
I missed that. Sorry, my from work disconnected. What was that, Carrie?
Well, so because they lost so many ships in Abu Dar, and the shipyard has a big backlog, they need to spend years making new ships for these people.
Right.
Is there going to be like a war of control over ships now? Like people are going to be stealing other people's ships, or
don't we hear that
like a hot commodity?
They were even thinking of using like the Shanshan ships somewhere.
Yeah. And how they thought it would be really weird to do that, but it would be like as a last resort or something.
Right.
Okay. Did we talk about that they're gathering to mourn. I mean, wasn't the head sea folk girl killed with the Elaine POVs? Or she had heard about the there was a murder or a death, and it was like the head, I don't know if it was Wave Mistress or whatever title it was. And I think they're mourning for that person. That's why they're gathering. But I don't really know what else to say about that. I just found it interesting. Like, this girl is shunned by her people, but yet she's asked to go with Loghain to return back to Rand. And he's not disclosing his location. He's not telling him where he is, but he says, I want you to come represent your people.
Right. Well, isn't she the one who, like, oh, hello, Kay. Wasn't she the one who was like, in a lesbian relationship too?
Hareen?
Hareen?
Yeah. Yes. I believe so.
Yeah.
And she was like so ashamed of it. She's
Right.
like, don't tell my mom.
They mentioned that once in this chapter too, where like there's like this risk of it being brought back up.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Lesbian.
We just talked about the sea folk.
Chapter
sea
22.
folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was there was an alright
There's a
chapter.
lot of talk of pillow friends in these next two chapters too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like my light. Do I look weird? I feel like my
You
lighting
look
looks
orange.
really
You look
Yeah,
like you're in a
right.
I think it's
pit of
fine.
volcano, my love.
Here,
Oh,
Better?
I just realized my light wasn't on.
is that better?
No, it's still the same. It's weird.
Oh, let me try to fix
Oh, wait,
this.
there you go. When you got closer to the screen, you turned white instead of pink. Your dress turned white.
Okay, maybe I just need to get closer. My light. I'm trying something different with my lighting.
Wow.
Do better close up.
I think you look fine.
Oh, okay, Patrick Lightbody. Thank you.
Oh, ooh, okay. Well,
Right.
for anyone who has
Apparently
not
they
seen
don't
my rocking
have,
chair, it's pretty fantastic.
No
Okay.
polyamorous relationships in the Sea Folk. Only Rand has that blessing.
Which, you know, you would think if you're always on a
On a
boat.
boat.
Yeah.
On a boat.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
On a
Love the
boat.
one you're with, right, brother?
Is my color any better? I feel like I'm still really orange.
You're really fucking orange, yeah.
Hey,
I don't
hey,
know why
what's
that is.
what's wrong with orange? Orange is the
That's
greatest.
a very
Wait, I'm gonna do one other.
Muppet
do
Show
one other thing.
reference there.
I
Thank
can
you,
still
Dan.
hear you though. Continue chatting.
Okay, well, I mean, that's all I had to say about chapter 22. I don't think there's really much more to dissect from there other than,
Yeah.
you know, we talked about the wind and the weird stuff. I mean, they're noticing oddity. Everybody around the world is noticing different oddities.
Yeah. What do we make of the scent boxes? I still feel like I don't have a clear sense of the
Oh my
scent
god.
boxes that the
Wow.
Altanieri use.
Do I
What
look
do they
green
use
now?
them
I
for?
look green now.
How they carry these like things with like opium or something in them around their chest, or like
Oh, yeah.
frankincense and myrrh. I don't know what's in them, but they like sniff
Well-
them when they're like uncomfortable or like.
It seems to me it's like a type of snuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, because they're not actually like insufflating something. It's just like a scent. It's like an inhaler.
right?
like-
no, I mean like the idea of what snuff would have been or was.
Well, no,
is.
snuff is like
I don't know.
insufflating tobacco. I'm thinking of them more like a Vicks like inhaler,
Hmm.
or like
I mean, are they actually using the stuff in the box, or is it more like potpourri where it just makes the room smell good?
That's a good question.
it's a really good question. And again, I don't know the answer.
We've seen it used where, like, if Matt shows up and he looks all grungy, they're like, "Oh, this ruffian," and just start snorting on this thing, hitting the juice.
Guy. Remember the day.
All right, so
With
chapter
the
23 is
Coca-Cola.
called to a sitting. It has the snake kind of twirled around a box and about to get you. It's like gonna bite you. Well, no. This is the Ramonda POV, and she is just chilling in her tent. Finally, she gets some peace and quiet, and she's reading. So, how do you describe The Flame, the Blade, and the Heart? It is a story of Birgitte and Guido Kane. She is embarrassed to be reading it. We see later. What is this book? Is it smutty? Is it just low grade?
It's a romance novel.
So, do they have like a pirate, like a shirtless Fabio on the cover?
Probably.
Maybe. The Flame, the Blade, and the Heart. Yeah.
And then you have definitely some chick with like her dress torn for no inexplicable reason. You know, it has nothing to do
imagine
with surroundings,
everybody.
just a torn
Imagine
dress in all the
Joe.
right places.
Imagine Joe from Twatcast drawing the cover of this book.
Oh yeah. Oh, see.
Oh,
The Flame,
that would
the
be
Blade.
good. See, there it is. It's right in my brain. Although he would surpass that artwork by tens of thousands.
Guys, I have a Taishar right off the bat.
Whatever. Nice.
Quote, more of him in her. End quote.
You had some good ones, Dan, earlier that I heard, but I wasn't here, and people were just lackadaisical about them, and I just wanted to say, Taishar, Dan,
Thank you.
you've done some very good ones today.
Thank
You too, Josh. These are fun.
So she's hanging out in her room. Bodwin is there, like kind of just resting.
She stared up at him with her mouth hanging open.
Fuck yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Sorry, that was last chapter.
Nassau goes into the tent and she's like, hey, can we talk? She's like, sure. Bodwin, hit right. They talk a bit about or she thinks about Sharina Malloy. Sharina Malloy is old, but she does the healing, man. She does the healing. Ramonda can't even do the healing. Not the new shit. But Nassau doesn't want to talk about that. She wants to talk about Lelaine. Quote Taishar, a slow swallow to give herself.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Nassau has been still trying to find out who killed the Blue Sisters. And she's like, all right, don't do that anymore. But she's like, what? But she's like, but I do it because the mother told me to do it, and she's still our mother, right? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. There was mention of Cabriana McCandez. Did you recognize that name at all? When because it quote, the name chimed a small gong in the back of her head. Why? And we do learn later why.
I mean, in the beginning of this chapter, it says the Blues called them, meaning the two girls that were murdered, and another Blue sister, Cabriana Marcandes, the three, because they were so close.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
This goes back to, God, what book was it, guys? Was it book 5 or 6? When Halima entered Salidar, the Forsaken / that other name that I can't pronounce, mentioned that name when they entered Salidar. And that's how this person made that connection.
Says LOC.
Cabriana.
Lord of Chaos. Okay. So she mentioned, Halima mentioned that she knew this person or knew how she, quote unquote, died. So Halima knew of this other person. And so she kind of connected the dots that they're all three related because they're friends or something. I don't know.
Very good. Very good.
Oh.
Ramonda says, well, all right. Until mother gets back, just tell me everything you're going to tell her. And she's like, okay, well, I guess I got to do that. Lelaine has called a sitting of the hall, and she's like, all right, fine. Taishar, guys, quote, tongue des Amerlin. Okay.
Tongued as Aaron.
Ooh, okay. Here. Girls dirtying their nice.
They're nice. Is that what it's called?
Is now. For this instance.
Let's see. They let's see. So she pretty much is just taking her time, gets to the tent where it's at. They say, all right, what is said here is sealed to the hall. But we're not going to make this formal, but everyone who's not a chair, leave. And they made it private. They're like, oh, well, that's weird. The in comes, what's her name? Moira. She comes in with a couple of her warders, and one of them's an Ashima. They didn't know that happened. It's like because of the Dragon Root board, he asked Cadsuane, and Cadsuane, she asked me. Properly, it is not my person. Wait. Properly, it is not my proposal. Jahar, speak to him. And Jahar's like, "Where's Egwene? Supposed to talk to her."
Oh.
And then he's like, "Wait a minute. A man just tried to listen in. Maybe it was the Forsaken who killed Eben." Right then, Delina goes, "Oh, I need some air." She leaves. Sus.
A little sus.
Mm.
Just a bit.
They do this thing where they test to see if they can see a man channeling, and she could actually see weaves or feel weaves. Weird. He gives a proposal. He says, quote, any sister who is faithful to Egwene Alvir may bond an Ashaman to a total of 47. You cannot ask for the Dragon Reborn, nor any man who wears the dragon, but any soldier or dedicated you ask cannot refuse. And we do get confirmation that Saidin is clean. No more perineum, Saint boy. And it's 47 because it's 51 sisters have been bonded by Ashaman already, and 4 of us are bonded to an Aes Sedai. 47 makes a difference. So they're like, okay.
They're not like, okay. They're like, what the fuck? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, wait, that's unorthodox. But he's almost like Fight Club with this guy, Eben Hopwell. He's like, no. Remember his name, Robert Paxton or whatever. What was the name? His name was Robert Paxton. I don't remember the last name, but that's from Fight Club. It says, yeah, Eben was
Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson.
Robert Paulson. That's what it is. His name is. Thank you, guys. But he was a stud. And he's like, so you remember his name, Eben Hopwell. He fought for his Aes Sedai long after he should have been dead. And they're like, yeah, we'll remember him. That's pretty much it. They go, oh, shit. I just remembered Cabriana. We need Delana and Halima immediately, those scoundrels. But they were spotted going off, running to the traveling ground. And that's it. They're gone. What did I miss?
A lot.
Talk to me.
Okay, on the way to the sitting, she was observing different people in the camp as she was walking. She saw Swan and Gareth coming back from the ride, which I think they did several chapters ago. Was she on Bella or was she on a different horse? I can't remember.
You gotta warn me. Is she on who?
Sorry, I couldn't resist. There was also a reference to some data. I like data and numbers. So she mentions that there were 50 new novices that arrived in the last 2 weeks, and they have about 100, or they have about 1K now. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of novices, and they keep coming. Like, so I guess my dumb question is, what makes the novices come to the rebel camp versus the tower? Or are they coming to both, or just one? Like, I'm curious to know how that's working out for them.
She does say that she gives what's her name some credit. The one who says Sharina. It says nearly 50 more had wandered into the camp in just the last 2 weeks, pushing the total up back near 1,000 in spite of runaways, and almost a quarter of those were young enough to be proper novices, more than the tower had held in centuries, that she wished it were not Sharina's work. The woman had not even suggested it to the mistress of novices. She had organized the thing herself and presented it to Tiana whole and complete. So yeah, Sharina's bringing in the girls.
Okay, so Uber mentioned in chat, so the tower's only accepting the young girls that are novices, but Egwene is accepting anybody.
All of the other, anyone else can come to Egwene's. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm losing my voice.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess Halima.
Oh, right. That's the important bit. Halima, they now know Halima is the attacker or suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Ramonda first mentioned that we should arrest them, everybody was confused. Like, how the hell did you make that connection? You know, like.
Right.
But then when they went to go search for them, they were gone. They were last seen at the traveling grounds fleeing with bundles. So, yep.
Pretty suspect.
Yeah. And I mean, now they know a female Forsaken who channeled the male half of the power. Weird. Not normal. What else, Carrie?
I mean, other than that, it was kind of a, you know, I don't want to say boring, but it was kind of a boring chapter compared to the next one that we're going to talk about. I don't know. I mean, if you want to sum up this chapter in like one or two sentences, basically they made a deal to bond Ashaman, and they know that there's a Forsaken in the camp. The end. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about.
She can't wear pants. Well, let's get into this.
Was there another poll? Was there another poll, or did you stop all the polls?
I think Ryan may have stopped the poll. I'm not really sure though.
Okay.
I don't have that.
I don't see a poll, but I don't know.
There was a poll earlier. I just want to make sure I didn't start another one. Okay.
This is chapter 24. It is honey in the tea. It kind of looks like a little honey blob, actually. The whale blueby thing, and it's an Egwene Albir point of view. She's just getting hit by slippers, man. Just getting spanked. So many butt whoopings.
So much spanking. Oh my gosh, I was not prepared for this.
Yeah, she's getting her ass kicked. They're like, she'll break. All right, now I'm going to use a switch. Now I'm going to use a paddle. I'm going to use that thing with nails in it and barbed wire. I mean, it's gross. It's gross that this is how they have to instill discipline in their novices, is by just hitting them. And there's a woman who does it for like professionally. That's all she does for the most part, is just hit girls. Ugh.
Sounds like a terrible, terrible job.
I mean, yeah, it seems fulfilling to these dummies.
It's a bizarre kind of punishment, though, you know, and it's bizarre to me that there's no like level of punishment here. It's just spanking. That's all. We're just gonna
Whoop ass.
keep on
Go
spanking.
whoop
you.
ass.
Right?
Get my
Like, it
girl.
just
Get my
seems a little
slipper.
bizarre. Yeah. Well, this got boring. Let's grab something else, and we'll just still keep spanking though. Like there's no like isolation period. It doesn't like progress to something worse.
I have personally been.
Anything is
I've-
weird.
yeah,
It's a
I've
weird
been-
kind of torture.
Yeah. All right. We're just gonna spank you hard, and now, all right. Now we're gonna spank you hard again. I personally, in my youth, have had to go fetch the implement of abuse that was going to be used on me. I had to go
The
get
wooden
it.
spoon?
I've
You know-
heard of that, like go choose your switch kind of thing.
Yeah, go get my belt. I'm like,
Oh. God, that's awful. I'm so sorry. Dan.
So
What was
Egwin, when she's like, all right, go get my slipper. I'm like, oh Jesus, anyways. But it does add for a couple fun little Taishar moments. So quote, heat
A
in her
lot.
bottom, she actually felt.
Yep.
That work, Carrie?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Sure.
She let her toes drum the floor while her head tossed wildly.
Mm. I love it too. She's like, yeah, I'm tough. Once it's done, I'm done. But once I'm getting hit, I'm gonna cry and scream, and I'm gonna knock over tables. I'm a flail. I hate it. I hate getting
Well,
hit.
She talks about how like the pain becomes part of her, you know, like how she just like has to embrace the pain to like handle it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I like that. I liked it's like all that training that she got from the Aiel, being the
Yeah.
understudy for the wise one. I mean, she learned how to, because she kept getting beaten from them too during the training. So she just learned how to embrace it. And I don't know. I really love this chapter. I mean, you start off with her coming into the tower and everybody looks down upon her, like they like, oh, you're just a bug, you're not nobody, you're not in charge anymore. And she had to like earn everybody's respect slowly and slowly, and I just love that.
Yeah, Sylviana,
yeah.
to your point, Sylviana's like, no curtsy, child. She's like, I'll see you at noon. And she's like, the Emerald seat curtsies to no one. She's like, I'll see you at dinner then too, you smart ass. And Egwin's like, whatever, go ahead. I like it. I like getting spanked by your slipper.
I agree with you, Carrie. Like, I liked this chapter too because this is such an evolution of Egwene's character. You know, like there's so much growth in her that we see so very clearly in this chapter. You know, like she's no longer this like super sniveling little, you know, baby, like, you know, not complaining about things, but she's just like a warrior and like a warrior, like leader too. You know, she's like, I must endure, and she's like all over the place. It's like her trying to embrace the pain, her trying to like even embrace like the scalding and stuff that happens, and it's just fascinating to see. I liked it a lot, yeah, because of the character development from Egwene in this. I thought it was really, I actually like her in this chapter, and I have not been a huge Egwene fan so far, but I really was like, yeah, bitch, oh my god,
Yeah,
she is
this
like
is
enduring.
It's a pretty well visualized week that we have in Egwene here. Her first day in the dining hall, they mean girl her. They like totally trip her.
I was gonna say Mean Girls.
And she's like,
so rude.
she's like, what's your name? She's like, why are you gonna tell me? Everyone's gonna say you didn't do it. She's like, are you really a liar? You stupid. He's like, she's like, I'm the Emerald seat, baby. I'm a prisoner, but I'm still the AS. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, whisper, whisper, whisper. She sits without wincing. She doesn't need no cushion. She just sits on that after getting her butt smacked. She just sits on the bench like it ain't no thing. No chicken wing.
Well, this is where her time with the Aiel really pays off, right? Like,
Yeah,
compared
that's
to
what Carrie was
Elaine,
saying. Totally.
compared to Elaine, who's even closer to Avienda than Egwene, but not clearly like not able to like integrate the Aiel worldview. Like, Egwene has done so much and with so little time.
We see just how much she is truly leveled up too. So she goes to a class. She is given some fork root tea to drink. It's weak, but she can only channel trickle.
Exactly.
And yet
Exactly.
she does the crazy. She is so it says, make a ball of fire, Egwene. Go on, child. And so she was like, all right. She opens it up, and it was just a tiny one. The girl was like, very girl. She's very good. She said sarcastically. She's like, really side out net class. And then Egwene adds a blue ball, then a brown, a gray, a yellow, a white, and a red. And then she adds all these things, and the balls are just like flying around in her hand. And they're like, stop it, stop it. She had at least 14 weaves, it says, going. Dividing her flows 14 ways. She's like, she won't stop.
And I think they were impressed by that because they didn't understand. I guess they underestimated her ability to use the power. They thought that she was weak in the power, but she's proving that she's with what little power she had from the fork root, she was able to do that. Pretty amazing.
Well, there's a difference between being able to access flows strongly and being able to subdivide yourself to use that little bit of power to do so many things, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just her ability, if not her capability.
Yes. And she's leveled up.
As I was saying pre-show, like, I really do think Egwene, and I've mentioned this so many times, like, I think Egwene is the true hero of the series. I think Rand is more of a figurehead than the actual salvation. And I think it's Egwene's place to maybe not be seen as the savior, but to nonetheless be the one who pays the ultimate price. I will be surprised if she walks away from Tarmangaiden alive.
Yeah. Totally.
This scene reminds me as if like a piano teacher's like, hey, we're going to do Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with one finger. Ding, 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 ding. And then she like does it one time, and then she starts playing ragtime.
Just like improvising.
Just like that.
Just like that.
You were picturing it. You were.
I was doing Charleston in my head. You're right.
Hey, you're back again so soon? Fetch the slipper from the cabinet, child, and tell me what you've done now.
I was in Sarasota this last weekend watching people do the Charleston, and it was very fun, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fun. It is fun. That's a good time.
The like body
You cannot
isolation
help
that
but
they do
have
in
a
the
good time.
Charleston is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
When it's done well, these like snaky movements with their legs, where they're like doing upper body isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Okay, I know
insane.
what you're talking about. Yeah. That's fun. Where
Guys,
were you?
Sarasota.
Oh my gosh. Fun.
Taishar. Quote, she did not neglect Leanne, of course. Her second night back in the tower, she went down.
Uh,
All right. Catarin had to be stopped from like beating the crap out of Egwene. Egwene wouldn't stop doing her cool weaves, and Catarin like started hitting her with the power to where like someone said, Jezreel like grabbed her. She's like, unhand me, Jezreel. I'll do no such thing. You go too far, Catarin. A swat or two is permitted, but punishing her further belongs to the mistress of novices. light. At this rate, you'll leave her unable to walk before she reaches Sylviana. So it's like you can hit her like twice. This whole thing is just hitting ladies all over the place. I don't like it. All right.
Yeah, it's just a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. There's so much.
She goes down to visit Leanne. She says, keep up the fight. There's 2 women just kind of watching her in the open cells. They give her forked root as well. She's like, so when are we leaving? She's like, we're not. Oh, right.
Hey, thank you.
She's like, we're not leaving. So let's do this. We'll do this. We'll do that. Okay. And Egwin's like, nope, we're staying here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get them from the inside, and the way that it seems that they're doing it is by hitting a couple things. One is Dumai's wells and the fact that they got captured. One is how crappy Tar-Valon is, and one is that what's her name, Shemarin, was demoted from Aes Sedai back down to Nox. That's a good point. Close that poll, Ryan. That's a dumb poll.
Should she? Jeez.
I'm not wearing pants.
Whoa.
Neither am
Yeah,
I.
Dan.
All right, we just got demonetized.
I can never unsee that.
What?
No
My-
pants.
Oh,
My nethers? What? I grew.
My nethers?
I
your
grew.
ungendered
That's
nethers?
right.
Yes.
There was not as
My
much
bits?
hair. There was not.
You
a
don't
hair
even
to be
have
there.
bits.
I don't have
So-
what?
My youngest
bitten
son.
this.
You're bit-
Hey.
you're bitless.
So last week, my youngest son was playing
I
with.
guess you're just
grower.
gonna have to get a sports car.
What grower? Say again,
last-
Josh.
Last week, my youngest son was playing with these wooden dress-up dolls where you put on it's like a wooden doll where you like put on these magnetized layers of like nerves, skin, or nerves, muscle, like skin, all the like bodily systems.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. I want one.
They're amazing.
That sounds
And he walks
so
up to
cool.
me and he's holding the like the female version of the skin layer. And he's got the boy's head in his hand. And he puts the boy's head with the mouth facing the vagina onto the girl. And he says, this is what the boy wants to do. It's like, he's never like walked in on me. He has no idea. He's just like puts it on there. And I have the video of this. It's fucking amazing. And I'm like, Soren, like, how, like, why do you think that's what he wants to be doing? He's like, he just does. It's the right thing.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. It's
Wow.
the right thing.
It's the right
It's
thing. And I
the
just started
right
cracking
thing.
up laughing. Like, I could not help it. But
Tashar.
Josh.
Yeah, I was about to say,
As a
yeah, sure.
father, you should be
was
so proud.
you are something, sorry.
It's epigenetic, Josh.
It is
Clap.
epigenetic, yeah.
Slow clap. I'm so proud
It's
for you.
like a bird nesting.
Comes built in.
You know what? This is why we should ban books in Florida. Jeez, what is this kid reading? Which is just propaganda. Which is just all kinds of propaganda.
Damn.
Um,
Burn all the Florida books.
Burn them all.
Maybe just anything that he could read at all, ever. Oh my god, that's amazing. How old is he again?
4.
Oh, Jesus.
She has a little conversation with let's see, was it Bien? Benet?
Benet?
Benet? Jean? Or Beignet? Those are those donuts, right?
Beignet. Yes.
I could go for a beignet right about now.
And she's like, hey, Egwin, you still need to learn stuff. She's like what mistakes What is it? What mistakes did Shai and Shunla make that caused the Third War of Garrett's Wall?
Oh, this
And-
was a good. Yeah.
And Egwin's like, Shan didn't make any mistakes, but you're right. I do have a lot to learn. She's like, what do you mean she didn't make any mistakes? She's like, well, before the third wall of Garen's Wall, Sharon was doing exactly as the Hall told her. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh yeah, the Hall and the Tower have like split up like 6 times. The Hall, it says the quote, the Hall ran Sheehan in the Tower. Sheehan's reign was marked by wars all over the map. I know she supposedly died in the Tower of natural causes, but in fact, she was smothered in bed in exile 51 years later after the discovery of the plot to put her back in the Armelin seat. And she's like, mutinies? 6 of them? There were 6 mutinies? What the hell are you talking about? She was exiled and smothered?
13th depository.
She's like, yeah, oh, that's right. That's right. You haven't been Armelin like me. There's a 13th depository. And she's like, trust me. I know you don't know this, but trust me. She's like, shit, man. Let me see. And then she starts sowing seeds. She talks to Lorene Doriellen about the mistakes that Elida's made, about the proclamation trying to kidnap him. And Egwin's like, kidnap? We know. That's the box. Egwin doesn't even know about the box, guys. Do you think things would change? Do you think that... This was a big thing for Rand to go through in regards to his
Trauma.
Trauma that Egwin has no idea that he's gone through at the hands of Aes Sedai, right?
She still judges him for like allowing Ashaman to bond Aes Sedai, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
she thinks
that's
that
what I
it's
understood.
horrible. Yeah. Let's see. They talk about the whole Shemarin thing. And she's like, all right. So she gets beat up by Adalorna. Just 3 times she went across Adalorna's lap. And here's Tyshar, guys. Quote, the woman did indeed know how to use a hairbrush for more than brushing her hair.
Well,
I've heard that's a common thing in adolescence.
No, that's the shower head.
Oh, I heard
that works as well. That works well too. Yes.
Hairbrush?
Mhm.
Ew.
The handle. Is that a
This
hairbrush?
is my hairbrush.
See?
It's a funky hairbrush, but still, I wouldn't want to. Nope.
Gross.
Especially after using it on my
Gross.
head.
Don't use it. Gross.
You don't use that
Not
stuff.
on camera.
It was
Uh,
dirty. And maybe like only if I had a yeast infection or something.
Ouch. Ouch.
TMI. Okay, moving on. Whatever.
So Egwin's getting healed now twice a day. Because she's getting just beat so much, guys. And they're like, yeah, we can't just hit you with the slipper again on your still healing booty. And you're going to be bleeding and stuff. This is abuse. And we're not abusive. We're just strict disciplinarians, right, guys? So, I like that she's
We're
like,
not abusive.
she's talking about her time with the novices. She says, no one tried to become her friend, which was just as well. White dress or no white dress, she was Aes Sedai, and it was improper for an Aes Sedai to befriend a novice. This must have been so weird, guys. Like, she lives in the novice quarters with the novices. She walks around saying that she's the Amyrlin. Everyone's like, whoa, this is pretty badass. They're hearing rumors of her just getting beat horrifically with slippers. And she doesn't talk to anyone. She just stays to herself, and she's badass. She doesn't complain.
Yep.
She's smiling when she gets done getting beat. Nicola's referring to her as the mother now. She overhears. They're like, "Hey, should we do something?" She's like, "Ask the mother." She's always willing to give advice. And she says she always gives the same advice: obey the Aes Sedai, obey the accepted, work hard, then work harder. Wow, she's like John Wooden, man. Yeah, but bootstraps, pull them.
Yes.
Yeah, get it in the air.
Yeah.
Let's see. Loras, she thinks Loras likes her. Laura, because she's working in there. Loras never beats her with the big spoon, which is new. You know. There's 31 accepted in the tower. Did someone want to talk? Okay. She says that...
Okay, really quick. So she also thinks about how there's the spies from Salidar somewhere in the tower, but she doesn't know who they are, and they haven't reached out to her yet.
The ferrets, right?
Yeah.
And they're in the... She finds out where they're at later. They're down in the cells, kind of just hanging, I guess. I don't know. She says, quote, oddly, most of the sisters seem to see the other Ajas inside the tower as more their enemies than they did the sisters in the camp outside the city. Yeah, she's like a Timex. Quote, another session with Sylviana before dawn.
Ah.
Sorry. Let's see. There's she talks to Alviarin, and then she talks to Matin Stepanos. And Stepanos is like the de facto ruler of Ellian. He's been essentially kidnapped by Elaida. And Egwene asks, hey, how's your kidnapping going? He says, Elaida did save me from murder by Althord. He's like, who can say what other rulers he did murder and destroy their bodies? He's like, well, Colivert hung herself. The Sun Palace was damaged by people trying to kill him. Elaine Tricon says her mother was murdered by Ravine. Why don't you? Anyone could have told you this. Anyone. But he's being kept in the dark. Yeah. She says, you've been kidnapped and brought aboard a sinking ship. He's like, what the fuck? Let's see. There's stuff about warning the ferrets not to say anything.
Well, she ran into the person who betrayed her.
That's right. I wanted to ask, I guess, do you think that she's correct? She thinks that she had betrayed. She said, I betrayed nothing. I would not have sworn to you except at the hall. It would have had me birched if I'd learned the secrets you knew. I maintained that oath until you were captured, but you are no longer Amyrlin, yes? Not as a captive. So it's like, that oath, it has two reasons to hold no longer. Talk of Rebellion's wild. It's finished. White Tower will be whole again soon. It says, you betrayed the ferrets. Are they all down in the basement cells? She's like, yep. And he's like, then you're going to have to warn them. Think of it as a penance, and only the Amyrlin seat gives penances. Think of it as a penance. Do it. Do it. I'm Nike. Just do it. She's like, yeah. Otherwise, I might tell people that you swore an oath to me. That'd be pretty shitty, huh? Bionin says, I will do as you say. That's it. We learned that the headaches are no longer there, nor are those scary dreams that she used to have. And we learned that Bionin has not passed on the knowledge of traveling because everyone is still asking Leanne.
Or the new or the new way of healing.
Or the new way of healing. Correct.
Mm.
Doacine asks her, "You don't mean a bloody surrender, do you, child?" And Egwene says, "Should the Amaryllis seed ever surrender?" And she's like, "My wager is that Sylviana will bloody well have you sitting straight and talking right before much longer." Here's a Tyshar moment here, guys. Quote, "A leather pad was attached just for bending over. Its surface worn down by who know how many women."
Women. Mhm.
No.
And she is talking with I'm sorry, what's her name? With Docine? Is she talking with Docine? No, Sylviana. She's talking with Sylviana, and she's like, "So, how was she says, how could Shemarin have been reduced to accepted? I've inquired, and there's no provision from Tower Law." She's like, "There's no provision, but no prohibition either."
There's no prohibition
Loophole.
either. Yeah.
Problem was that
This is
Yeah.
a loophole.
Yeah. The problem was that Sheraman accepted it. Other sisters told her to ignore the edict, but once she realized pleading wouldn't change the Amaryllis' mind, she moved into the accepted quarters herself. Egwene's like, "Oh, okay, interesting." She goes back to the novice dining hall, and what do you know? No tripping. No one's trying to trip her, mean girl her. They went and got her ass food and sat her down on a table that had a pillow on the seat.
I love the
Egwene's like,
double.
Honey in her
I love-
tea.
I love the double Halima awareness too, where she's like, "Oh, I haven't had a headache since I left the camp, but I can feel one coming on today."
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, do you think that she's in the tower now?
Well, it never comes, as far as we know.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting
Yeah.
question, for sure.
So there was
No,
honey
I
in
love
the tea.
this whole chapter. Yeah, honey in the tea. I mean, she was winning her war. I just love it.
I liked the part where she started to comfort all the novices that were terrified and scared. I mean,
Oh, I like that too.
I mean,
yeah.
this
Yeah.
Nice hearing.
discussion of Egwene is serving her people. She's not just
She's
a
very
boss.
nur-
She wants to,
She's
very
nurturing.
nurturing.
She's nurturing in addition to being the boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Is this just all earned? Is this Tavernus? Is this what happened? It's only been like a week.
it really seems like Tavernus to me, but
Yeah, but also she's like enduring a lot, and it does very much though seem like Tavernus. I think
Leveling
she's just kinda, like leveling up, earning some respect as well, and showing that she can take shit and live to see another day. She can also she is empathetic, and so that goes a long way for a leader trying to walk that fine line of being a leader but also showing empathy for the people that are suffering around you.
right.
It's a
Not
tough
Dark Triad.
position to be in. I'm gonna turn my fan off real quick. It's chilly in here.
So they were all standing. They waited for Egwene to sit down and pop an olive in their mouth before they all sat.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So lucky that none of the Red Sisters were watching too.
What would have happened? I was going to ask.
They all would have been sent to the Mistress of Novices, it seems like.
Oh,
Just 2 or 3 girls lined up, each on that leather thing, just for bending
you're
over.
only allowed to eat black
Just-
olives, and
just
only
slap.
if you put them on all 10 fingers first.
Slapping with slippers. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes, lots of slipper slapping.
Like bongos.
Slipper slapping, slipper slapping, slipper slapping.
Yeah, so that's how it ends, is saying that she was winning her war.
Yeah, she is.
And that's how our reading
All
is
right.
end.
What chapters we got next week?
We are doing 3 chapters. We're doing chapters 25 through 27, I have it at 65 pages in my book, so it's a little less than what this was, but it's about the same. And
Is 28
then
a long one or just spare it?
is what's that?
28 a long one or is it just a big change?
28. No, one of them. Let me see. One of them is kind of long. I don't know if it's 28 though. 28 is from 508 to 524. So no. 26. As if the world were fog. That one. This one is a little longer.
Oh, bye, String. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that one's
Flame
longer.
is so devoted. We have such great fans
We have
in
the
chat.
greatest fans.
They're
25.
so great. You guys are here every week. I love you so much.
Yeah, it's great having friends that reliably show up and we can all hang
I
out,
know.
and talk about stuff and have fun. Man, it's you guys are great.
Honestly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wada Hadagazi keeps saying how awesome next week is going to be and that these chapters are big. I mean, are you implying that something cool is going to happen?
I freaking hope so. Come on, Moraine
We're
needs
waiting
to
for
come
the
back.
Tower of Genji scene for like 8 chapters.
That is what I want to see. Yeah,
I like this one.
Yes.
Novan Garden. She basked in the
I
warmth
want,
of her
like-
employers.
The Indiana Jones
Nice.
aspect of trying to rescue her.
yeah.
So everyone in chat next week, find a Taishar and post it when we get to it. Try to do it. It's
Carrie.
fun.
Matt's gonna like slide through a door just as it's closing and then reach in and grab his hat in the nick of time.
Of course. Of
All right,
course.
26 is a
predictions?
2-on chapter. 2-on point of view.
Have we ever had a 2-on POV?
I don't think so.
We had a Surah. We
27
talked
is
about
Rand.
Not 2-on.
We were talking about
27
we
is
wanted
Rand.
to on POV.
25 is Pavara? Tarna? So, fuck! Still no Tower of Genji.
Fuckers.
Might
Well,
be
there
next
is.
book.
Matt is a point of view halfway through attending Elida. The second half is Matt.
It's Matt. Okay.
So attending Elida is only like 4 or 5 pages, and then it is Matt.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Same with 26. It is 2-on, but then it goes to I think Perrin, and then
Parent.
Bio.
Exciting.
I think Bio. Yeah, Bio is the word. Oh no, as the world with fog, which Bio is in there. So yeah, Perrin and Bio are 27 then. So yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're all doing this together. Oh, and Matt's also in a plain wooden box. So yeah, we got this.
I think we might have some good stuff coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, is there any
I just
predictions?
skimmed a bit. It looks enticing.
What kind of predictions? Like, is Egwene gonna stay? I mean, is Egwene gonna dethrone Elida in this book? I don't know. Is she?
I hope so.
Okay, right on.
I like it.
Is Matt ever gonna marry Tuon? Is Fael ever gonna get captured? Is Moraine gonna be rescued? Like, I don't know. Like,
Is Elaine gonna ever have a comfortable?
is
bath?
Elaine gonna take another bath?
All right, well let's put a fork in this
Questions?
and call it done. We are the Way of the Leaf. We do this every. Let me put on some music, as Ryan normally does. Is this it? No. Intro, outro. Here we go. We're here every week. Next week, like we said, we're doing 3 chapters. We'll also be doing something on Sunday too. That's spoiler filled. That's called Tavern Talk, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. Until next week, you guys use your blinkers, would you, on the road? Drive safely.
We don't do that in Florida.
Well,
We know,
you should.
Josh. We know.
It's called An Eventual Left, Dan.
It's called Florida doesn't follow any of the normal rules.
No, I taught my kids
Blue
blinker, then brake. You should be hitting your blinker before there's even brake lights at all, man.
Those are good rules to live by.
But
Rules
we
to live
love
I think
you.
you-
Brother Dan and Kay.
We love you.
We
And we're
should
proud
have
of you.
like
Hi guys.
a big old cha-chink every time we
Cha-chink.
say something super smart like that. It should go thunk, and we should put a thumbs up. Well, you don't have thumbs, but you know.
Cling.
Bye, everybody.
Run for your lives. This is the way to leave.